In many ways, this is really a year that would rather be forgotten for this sector.
Certainly for the sector, Heidi, but it must be said once you start looking more deeply across the entire industry, the situation with PwC Australia really does seem to be a turning point, but there have been multiple scandals in the last few years impacting the industry. There's been exam cheating scandals globally in various different markets across a number of the big four firms, and there's been, of course, the McKinsey situation in the United States with the Purdue Pharma situation, which has resulted in hundreds of millions of dollars in fines for McKinsey itself. The industry is facing headwinds, of course, after the pandemic, where there was a lot of hiring that went on and plenty of work from governments around the world. A lot of the firms are now making significant layoffs and are looking at a future, an immediate future at least, of less government business as the purse strings tighten and governments around the world start to rein in their spending on these consulting businesses.
Some of these scandals have really reignited debate over the business model in itself, right?
They have indeed. So the situation with PricewaterhouseCoopers Australia, that really blew up earlier this year and has been the subject of a parliamentary inquiry. That was because the accounting firm was advising the government about some changes to tax laws, and then it is alleged, this is now the subject of a criminal investigation, that they were disclosing some of that information to some of its big clients. That really lifted the lid on some of the practices here in Australia. There's been enormous fallout this year. Going forward, there is a lot of call now for regulatory change in this market, but governments around the world, of course, as well, looking at how things are operating in their markets and whether there does need to be a different regulatory system to oversee consulting firms, which largely are self-regulated.